Hello and welcome back to my channel for my reaction to Village of the Angels Chapter 4 of Doctor Who Flux. And oh boy, this is going to be a video. It's going to be a video and a half. I just do not know where to begin with this one. I feel like I say that every week, but really this time there have been so many shocks and surprises in the past hour or so. The episode finished about 3 minutes ago, I think, by my clock. I think the only place we can begin, really, because it's the most recent thing, and it wasn't even in the episode itself, but in the next time trailer, Kate Stewart is back. What? They kept that under wraps really well. I mean, yeah, there were rumours, I think, about Unit coming back in the Centenary special, but even so, just sneaking her in like that, the trailer for Survivors of the Flux, I just have no words. I think we always assumed that Unit were going to come back one day, hopefully, but we have had confirmation of that, obviously, because of the whole resolution thing with them going bankrupt or whatever. But this was not the place I expected to see her. I expected them to hold that back for one of the specials, potentially. So that was just a huge gasp moment. I mean, the biggest gasp moment of the series, really. Even bigger than Jo Martin coming back. You know, we pretty much knew that she was going to come back at some point in the series. This was just completely unexpected. I don't know. I just don't know how to process this, as you can probably hear from my reaction. But anyway, let's move past that for a minute and get on to the episode itself, of course, which is what you've come here to hear me talk about. It was really well done. You know, all the old sort of Weeping Angel tropes really just done really well is my main takeaway from it, I think. I was thinking back to myself that we've not had the Weeping Angels in the past before. Obviously, we've had Weeping Angels send people back into the past from the present. But actually setting a story in the past, well, I say in the past in the UK rather than in America with, you know, Windsor Quay and the Angels Take Manhattan and all that sort of stuff. An episode set in a sort of quintessential English country village, you know, with a church. I mean, why has it never been done before? You know, a Weeping Angel in a churchyard, or a Weeping Angel that is essentially a grave, a gravestone. That's just such an obvious idea. So I think the combination of all those things done really well just made it a real success. And, you know, because obviously we've had that huge gap as well of about a decade since the last proper Weeping Angel story, that made it even better, and you were able to savour things so much more. So that was really great, and obviously we got new bits of Weeping Angel lore and little additions as well. I mean, things like the image of the angel thing just taken to another level, you know, with the TV screen and the cameras and stuff, and all that sort of stuff. And the thing we had with Amy, I mean, I'm a bit hazy on this, but from Flesh and Stone, there was that thing, wasn't there, of Amy turning into an angel, or at least being convinced that she was turning into an angel. I don't think she actually was turning into an angel, but it was like a psychological thing, wasn't it, where she looked at her wrist or whatever and looked at her arm and it was stone, but it wasn't actually stone, it just looked stone. So we've got a similar thing here with Claire. Loved the way that the whole Claire thing played out. You know, okay, she actually is from the present. Yes, she wasn't, you know, in the right time period. She was out of time in the 1960s. She had all these premonitions and stuff. She was psychic. I thought that was really cool. And obviously the division as well. That was the other big sort of jaw drop moment from this story. Again, because, you know, we're expecting more stuff about the division in the series, obviously, especially after last week. But this was not the story I expected to have that in. I expected it to be a more standalone story, really, you know, because I think a lot of people have been saying that basically the Sontaran story and the Angel story were both sort of part of the original Series 13 plan before the whole serialized thing came into it. I don't know if that's actually true or not, or if it's just a rumour, but I can certainly believe it if it is true. But yeah, just I think because of that, I went into it thinking, okay, you know, it's going to be a good episode. It's going to be a classic sort of episode, and very classic Who as well, in the sense of, you know, the demons, you know, the village and the country village and the church and everything, all that sort of stuff. I was looking forward to all that sort of stuff. It's done really well, and maybe a sort of arc light episode for this week compared to last week, for example. But no, they just took it up a notch even further. We had all that sort of stuff in Medicine, in the village, all these tropes done really well, and the whole mystery of everything, and little things paying off, like Mrs. Hayward being Peggy, and the whole thing with Claire as well, just all that sort of stuff. And then, you know, they reached that halfway point, or 2/3 or whatever, and the division was mentioned, and it came into it, and it was just like, we are now at that point in the series where if it was a Moffat or RTD series, this would be the equivalent of your episode 11, and then episodes 5 and 6 would be a 2-part finale. And it certainly feels that way. Again, I think just because of the shorter series and abandoning that structure, I wasn't necessarily expecting them to do that. But I'm so glad that they've chosen this opportunity to set up all that stuff and to build on everything that's been before, of course, in the previous 3 episodes of Flux. And they've really raised the stakes for episodes 5 and 6. I mean, expectations. I don't know. Clearly, it looks like Dan and Yaz have been living in 1901 to the early 20th century, I think, for 30 years, Dan said in the Next Time trailer. Which would tie in, I suppose, wouldn't it, with the filming stuff of them alongside Jericho in that pyramid or whatever from the trailer and stuff, with Yaz in her period get-up and Dan as well in his little hat. So clearly that's going to play out somehow, and they're not going to be reunited with the Doctor until God knows when, episode 6 maybe, or maybe, I don't know, even the special. I don't know when that's going to happen. I get the feeling that next week is, for the Doctor, going to be the equivalent of your sort of Heaven Sent type story, where it's a solo Doctor story. For at least the strand that the Doctor's in, she's going to be separate for most of the story, I'd have thought. And I don't know, are we going to get like a sort of Matrixy type thing, like in The Time as Children, or the whole Time Storm thing from last week, where it's just the Doctor by herself in a sort of simulated or dream environment or something, and being given these answers? Is she going to get those answers? I guess she's not going to get them straight away, because otherwise there'd be no point in having a 6th episode. Clearly they're going to want to hold something back for that, but I don't know. We've clearly reached that point now where we are going to start getting answers about the division, I think. I mean, we got some last week, but it was sort of just confirming what we already knew. So now is the point, I think, next week where they're going to add to that and expand on it, and hopefully it's going to be good. Hopefully it's not just going to be, I don't know, the thing you would expect it to be, or just a bit out of an anticlimax maybe. I mean, I'm not saying it will be that, but it could very easily be that, I suppose. Kate Stewart is back. I know I mentioned it at the start of the video, but wow, I'm literally speechless on that. I just, yeah, I mean, you can hear it from my voice and stuff. I know what I think of it. I'm hugely excited to see her again. I mean, again, she's not been seen in like a decade or so. So, very exciting. Well, 7 years, I suppose. But, yeah, it's going to be so weird seeing her again. I'm so excited to see her again. And I just don't know how that's going to play into the whole storyline. But I'm very excited to find out and to get some answers starting next week. And hopefully she's in the finale. I mean, of course she's going to be in the finale as well, isn't she? So please do let me know your thoughts on this story in the comments section below. I have not checked Twitter or anything. I posted a couple of tweets myself during the episode just to sort of record my instant reaction to those moments, the division and Kate and everything, just because I wanted to have that for posterity, really. I wanted to have that on the record. But I've rambled on long enough. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and do subscribe to the channel if you're new, and do like the video if you enjoyed hearing me in a very incoherent mess trying to react to that episode and just giving my initial thoughts on it. And yeah, more Flux content to come in the coming days and weeks. Apologies I didn't do a plot prediction actually before this episode was broadcast. I just ran out of time this week to do that, but they will be back for episodes 5 and 6. So I don't know how to end this now because I've already sort of ended it once already. But yeah, subscribe, like, comment, and bye.